Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Monselete?
I'm good, thank you. So today, I know you're sitting here waiting for what will we talk about today, and I always love to surprise you. I want to talk about why you hate your job, but you can't leave.
But I love this job.
Not this job, but you know what I
Oh,
mean.
okay.
I'm talking about the people, which I have been that person who walks around saying, I hate my job. I know I want something different. I feel like there's something more for me. I have something I want to build, but I just can't seem to leave. Or I really hate my job, but I'm always applying for other jobs and there's nothing else available. There's nothing better out there. I really want to explore today what the deeper issue is that's going on underneath that. And so what I'd like to ask you, Dan, is when somebody comes to you, whether it's just a friend or in a session, I hate my job, but I can't leave. What do you think is really going on there? High level.
Hmm. High level. There's some other story, obviously. And there's two that come up immediately. There's the I hate it. What do you hate about it? Let's define that. But the idea of I can't leave is one of those triggers for me anytime I hear it. That can't presupposes the future. So by saying I can't leave puts you in this prison forever. And my question would be, is it that you can't or you just haven't figured out how to yet?
Mm.
And then we have a different conversation.
Yeah, and so each one of these videos in this series, and if you're new to watching, we're doing a series on That's Not What This Is About, where we explore different topics. And this topic is listen, this topic is multidimensional, and I'm not going to probably cover all of the themes. For some of you out there, if there's a reason that comes up that we didn't explore, it's not that I'm avoiding it or I'm not talking about it. We only have so much time today for what we're going to talk about. The first
But
theme I
send
would
us your
want,
ideas and we'll make a new video on them. Come on.
yes, exactly. Send
Yeah.
us what we should be talking about and we'll make a video. The first theme I really want to talk about is security. How much of this hating your job is about the very real safety that the job provides? Because that is the reality for many people.
And it's a fair one. I can't point a finger at anybody and say they're wrong when they're putting the well-being of their family and themselves in that safety zone. Like, no, that's where it's providing a roof over your head, it's providing food on the table, it's providing the income, is providing all of these things. That's real.
Yeah, it really
So
is. Yeah.
you can't tell somebody that you're that's all false and just go. No, that it's a real consideration to be made. And as we open it up as yes, it's a consider, and I think this might be the shift of so many people that I've talked to in that space feel like I can't leave because, and then we're back to the can't, the absolute. And it's less about it being an absolute than it's a factor of consideration. And when we take it off as, okay, this is something that exists, let's sit with it. And then how do we expand out of it? So, yes, safety, it's basic, it's root chakra level stuff. Are you going to consume? Are you going to continue living in survival mode? And yes, survival is like the baseline. That's okay. But how do we rise out of it to start thriving and realize that we're more than just this and we're more than just accepting scraps of bread and water and leftover meat that come across.
Yes. And so I do think security is huge. When people say, I hate my job, I'm not saying for everybody, but for many, I mean, the reality is a job offers income, structure, predictability, stability. Leaving that can really feel there may not be a choice to leave that. Now, can it be replaced? Sure, right? But security plays, I think, a big part in why people who hate their jobs are still there, right? They have a family to support. Maybe they're a single parent. I mean, this is real stuff. Maybe they only pay you enough to go from paycheck to paycheck. I've been in that place where, I mean, you just can't see beyond the next paycheck, literally.
Mhm.
And seeing beyond that or any other options is just really hard to see. But that moves me
And
into, oh, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and so something else to grab there. I went a little woo woo with this the root chakra thing, but there's also the other version of it is Maslow. Like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Survival is first, baseline needs met
Yes.
first.
Yeah.
And General Maslow says that if you, well, depending on how Maslow gets talked about, there's one side that says you can't operate at a higher level than the one you're in, but
Hmm.
it's really you can't operate effectively there. Like the person who is experiencing survival level income and job can still dream about being up here. So they're it's not that they have to get out of level one to get to level two before they can ever think about levels five and six with realization and actualization. They can dream up there because that will be the thing that pulls them out. But until needs are more than met, the majority of their focus is going to be down here at just getting by. And that takes a
Yes.
drain on energy because then we start fueling into the I hate being here. And that's all energy that is now energy that's not going through the I can't wait. I'm looking forward to being out of here and I want to create what's next.
And thank you for calling that out. I think I sounded very absolute. Yes, of course, you can be here and dream. And of course, that's what's going to get you out of there. But I will say from my own experience, there have been times that I was in such survivor mode, I couldn't dream beyond survivor mode. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's
Yeah,
it's both. And that brings me to the
been
next
there
theme, yeah, of fear of the unknown. Why can uncertainty feel more frightening than staying in something we know is no longer working?
because if at least in this moment my needs are met, I'm surviving. If that little trickle goes away, what does that mean? Oh, that potentially means I'm dead. And just go to the ultimate thing because that's what it's about. Survival is about staying alive at some baseline level. And if we get so caught up in my thread of fuel, my thread of sustenance goes away, that means I die.
Yeah.
That means I'm struggling more. That means all these other things. And now it's even more energy because I have to replace that or I fade away. So anything outside of the comfort zone is uncomfortable. And we just go to the worst case scenario as human beings most of the time.
So I think what I'm hearing you say is that even an unhappy situation can feel safer than an untested future.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Why did so many people not jump in a boat to sail off and find out what was over the horizon? A handful of
Hmm.
people did from various countries over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Polynesians discovered Hawaii. Go figure.
Right. So that brings me to theme three, which is the pull towards something more meaningful. What happens when part of us knows there is something else we want to create or become?
That starts to give us the bridge. And that's where it gets interesting in these conversations because what I've noticed for myself over the years is I'll get that dream, I'll get that thing that calls me forward, but I'll be in the role. And I've had enough of them over the years where I just get frustrated. So the thing that it can be better, there's the voice and the pull that's more intuitive, deeper self. But when we're stuck and not there yet, it feels like this thing is holding us back, the old job, the one where we're not appreciated, all of it. And it feels like a preventative rather than the thing that could launch us there. So we'll start to feel that push and pull. And it's really important that we sit back in those moments when we start to feel the thing calling and not look at it as what I have currently is holding me back and see it more as this is giving me the platform. It got me here to now that I can open up to consider doing the next thing and figuring out what that bridge is from where I am to who I want to be.
Yeah, I think the bridge is key. And I think the many people can be caught between the bridge of the life that pays the bills and then the life that they sense they're meant to create or build.
Okay.
And something I'll say, I mean, kind of out of context, but I think it pertains to this, and I can say it because I was this person. Um, when you are in a job that you don't like and you find yourself, I hate my job, complaining about your job every day, all the time, and then that's all you do is complain about it, that becomes the focus, is everything you hate about it. Instead of trying to, I would just suggest when you shift from stop complaining about it and now just go find all the things you enjoy, not about your job, but maybe what you want in life, those are going to begin to show up. When you stay focused on everything that you hate, it's just going to continue to show up and compound. And I know that from experience. I remember that was one of my New Year's resolutions at one point was I am no longer allowed to bitch about my job unless I just go get a new job. And so I made that commitment and everybody was like, wow, like I'm surprised you're not complaining about your job because like that's all you do. And I was like, I can't believe I'm that person, but I was that person. And I made that commitment and it changed everything for me. And when I finally left that job, I remember people going, wow, I can't believe you didn't leave sooner. Like that's how much I had complained about hating it. And I was like, I can't believe I was doing that so much and so out of control. But it had become such a part of just my everyday language.
And notice there, for everybody who's watching, there was the hate of the job, but there was a bridge created. It wasn't about, I'm out of here now, which is my tendency to do things.
Me too. Yes.
uh, you know what? You have disrespected my values. You have disrespected me. I'm done here. Goodbye. And sometimes I had another opportunity and sometimes I didn't.
Yeah.
I tend to be the one who drops the bomb and goes. Um, has it served me? It's gotten me here. There's pros and cons to everything. So how we do one thing is how we do everything kind of thing. But it's just, it doesn't mean if you're, what I want to really want to bring forward here for everybody is if you're in a role or you're talking to somebody who's in a role that they hate, one, it's not about, so what can we do to help you enjoy your job a little more? That's just plastering over the pain. There might be a little bit of like connecting back to what do you enjoy about it? Because that could be an opening as well. And then moving into it doesn't have to be about let's get you out of there right now. Because I've been in enough of those where I went to the next thing and about a year later, all the same problems started showing up because I never addressed me. But it's about creating that bridge. Like I'm somewhere where I don't want to be anymore. And there's something else calling me to say it can be better. Because if there was no counterpoint, you wouldn't even be feeling the discomfort and the hatred of it. So start tuning into what would I do differently? What do I want differently? What's the opposite experience of this that I can start bridging to? And and again, feeding the reticular activating system of I'm not going to be the person who complains anymore. I'm going to be the person who finds the thing that helps us move forward and connect to that bigger dream. And also kind of take some of the heat off as well. Because if you keep fueling the fire, you're just going to get burned.
Yeah, and this is such a bigger topic than this video, so maybe we will cover this in more videos to come. Something we didn't talk a lot about, um, a little bit about, but you know, a lot of times we think the issue is the job, but then we keep getting a new job and it's the same problems. And I think it comes back to who are we? Who are we as a person and how we show up to these jobs? And that's obviously a piece of the problem. I mean, to some degree, it could be, it may not be. You just could just be getting bad jobs or having bad experiences. I'm not saying that like you're the reason the job is crap, but I'm just saying that like there's something that we have to ask ourselves too. You know, what is it I really want versus being so focused on what I hate? Because otherwise we leave that job of what we hated without really discovering what we wanted. And then we find out in the next job, we're hating all the same things again, right? And so, like you
Yeah.
said, it's about, and also knowing that this is a process. I think being kind to people, like being kind to yourself. I, I had many jobs like you, Dan, where like when I was out and I had no backup and then I'd have to start all over again. And then finally, the last time that I left a career, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it the responsible way, which was I'm not gonna leave until I have something else lined up because I can't start all over again at 50 years old. And I just remember that was like a 5 year process. It took five, almost 6 years to actually make that transition. And so just know, I mean, it could just start with planting the seeds. It could just
Mhm,
start with exploring.
mhm.
Doesn't
And
have
it
to be like you
reminds
said, just like one thing to, it's just a tiny bridge. So,
and it reminds me of what I've said to so many people over the years, whether it's about job or something else, the intention creates the outcome. And
yes.
I, come back to when I was in a job I didn't like anymore and was looking for the next opportunity. The intention was just get me out of here because I'm done. I'm looking for the next goal because the next role because I don't want that gap in income. The next thing came along that looked really good, the same as what you were saying. Okay, I'm jumping, and I go, and the intention was just get me out of here. It did, and then like 9 months, a year later, after the honeymoon period, all the same stuff comes around because we didn't create for ourselves. It was get me out of here. But when we're in those places and we start looking at what do I really want, and we start vetting differently and creating forward, like my next goal is this, my next role is this, and we start building out the intentionality that's more about what we want creating forward versus just get me out of this frying pan. That's when things change.
And that's going back to who are we? Like we are part of
Mm-hmm.
the problem, right? Or we're part of the solution. And it's interesting you said that too, because when you're sitting in survivor mode, like, hey, I have to keep this job. This is my paycheck. This is my stability. This is my predictability. That survivor mode of that, right? That piece that obviously we all need, we have to have it. But to leave that to do the same thing again, right? Like that's what you were doing. I just got to get out of here. I just have to get out of here. So basically, you're saying, I can have the same thing. It just has to be different, but it's the same thing. Like you're not, your energy isn't changing, right? Your energy is just, I don't want this anymore. So give me something else that will just replace this, but basically is the same versus, wait, I want it all to look different and be different.
And maybe because as I heard you say that, I had a really weird idea pop in my head. So for the individuals who say, I just have to stay here when they're operating in survival mode, maybe we do a paraphrase of the fortune cookie thing. It becomes, we add two words to it. I just have to stay here for now.
Mm.
And that changes it.
It changes everything for now. Anything else for this video?
No, as we've talked about in this series, it's not about what walks in the door. It's not about, or whether it's not even in a coaching session, it's about just conversation. The person who has a problem that they're experiencing, it's not, the problem isn't there. The problem's deeper. Like what story are they bringing to it? And what you said there is most likely we're not the problem. I almost go to totality of we are the problem. We're the
Yeah.
ones creating because it's how we're framing it. And so listening that to that deeper level and really being with the person in how they're experiencing it and what else is there. It's what we talk about in our real demos program, where we go through a conversation. Monselete the client, I'm the coach, at three different levels of facilitation, from the surface of let's just solve the problem and create a plan to what's really going on here and how is this pattern showing up elsewhere, because the classic phrase in coaching is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Where's it showing up, and is this pattern helpful or not? Sometimes it might be, sometimes it isn't. But learning to listen more deeply, whether we are coaches or just individuals who are really interested in having deeper, more meaningful conversations, this program is fantastic for that, to open the doors to get in a little bit deeper into who's the person you're with and who are you really talking to.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you guys. Like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.
Be well.
Be well.